Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So I have to admit, a lot of the energy that I've been picking up on recently has felt incredibly intense, and there's kind of been this heaviness about it as well. So I know that because that's something that I've been experiencing, that many of you listening may be feeling this in waves as well. The best way that I can describe it is that these really are like waves of energy where you may get a surge of positivity, excitement, enthusiasm, inspired ideas, motivation, and then suddenly those waves of inspired energy may seem to be followed by kind of lulls in the energy where you actually begin to feel the opposite extreme of that. So a lot of heaviness, a lot of tiredness, kind of a form of feeling a little bit scattered. And one thing that I've really been sensing around all of this is that it's in part meant to re-emphasize to us that healing is not a linear process. Even healing that is actually taking place energetically, emotionally, that growth process, that healing process, so to speak, is actually very non-linear. So there can be days where you're feeling more so in that lower energy state, and then days where you're feeling in what you might refer to as a higher energy state. But through all of that, this progression, this healing is taking place. And I feel that for someone out there listening, one thing that you really need to hear and to know at this time is quite simply that affirmation that if you've been feeling more of the heaviness lately, more of kind of what we're referring to here as the lows, then reaffirm to yourself, because it is true that this healing, this growth, this is still taking place on a deeper level, that it's just something that is progressing naturally over the course of time. And it's not something happening in necessarily a linear fashion. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but I really hope that message reached you if so. So I am actually going to be channeling into somewhat of a love situation that I'm picking up on here. And I'm hearing the phrase, someone wants to love you, or someone wants to love on you. And when I specifically get that phrasing, love on you, and I just felt this wave of chills, I feel like there's a reason. This is coming up right on the heels of us talking about this incredibly heavy energy that you might be dealing with, because you are someone who is an incredibly powerful force on this planet. You are doing or creating or putting things across in the world that are meant to be having a huge impact, that are meant to resound on this energetic level in a way that really positively impacts other people, not just people who might be individually associated with you, but people on that kind of collective scale as well. Now, for some of you listening, of course, you may not desire to be specifically in the public eye, so this may not be necessarily having a literal physical audience, but you have a spiritual audience regardless. And what I mean by that is, although I feel if this is for you, you already know kind of the meaning of having this spiritual audience. You kind of sense that meaning in your heart and soul somewhere. But essentially, you have a lot of people who are affected in this ripple effect kind of way by your energy. And I'm seeing a net, like a safety net. I've described before in videos that it's almost as though your energy is this sort of safety net. Not that you are meant to be the savior of others or anything like that, but that when you exist in a connection, in a space, in a community, in a certain collective consciousness of some kind, even if it's not physically there, you actually create this kind of safety net of energy around you, meaning that the best way I can describe it is that when other people may experience lower vibrations within themselves, within their life, if they're connected to you, because your power of influence is so huge, if they're connected to you, very often they will find that just being connected to your energy protects them to some extent, even from some of the natural consequences of the energy that they're putting out into the universe. So via the law of attraction, whatever we put out eventually in some form comes back to us. So it's interesting because it seems as though even though the law of attraction is, of course, a constant and it's still in operation here, because you are utilizing the law of attraction as well, but in a very powerful and influential way by having these really strong intentions for yourself, for your own life, for the people around you. And I'm getting many times these intentions don't even need to be consciously spoken or written down. You just hold these intentions for your own success and happiness and fulfillment, but also for all of those things manifesting for the people around you and connected to you. And so being connected to you, it is like this safety net where they will find themselves as someone connected to you being somewhat protected from some of the outcomes that not being connected to you, they might actually experience because of the kind of energy that they're putting out there. Now, this is also why people at times consider you to almost be sort of this good luck charm in a way, because they notice that when they have you in their life, when they're connected to you, I just saw the number 818, but when they're connected to you, they notice, and I just heard mirroring. Of course, 818, it's sort of a mirrored number, but it's like the 8s represent the mirroring and the 1 in the middle represents that these 8s are mirroring each other, but they're two separate entities. So I see this almost being that these people connected to you, whether they're realizing it or not, and in most cases, they're not realizing it consciously, but to some extent, they begin to mirror back to you. I'm hearing mirror neurons, which of course, we all have mirror neurons that play a huge role in how we are influenced by the things and people around us, because we naturally learn to reflect back our environments, our surroundings, people we're surrounded with. And so I'm getting that people who connect to you actually begin to unconsciously mirror back some of your very high vibrational energy. And this is more so a kind of technical law of attraction explanation for why being connected to you has what feels like this good luck charm kind of energy. It's not really that you are the one saving them or emitting that frequency for them, because everyone has to be the conscious creator of their own reality, but more so, it's that you have this really high vibrational energy. Yes, you have those strong intentions for yourself and the positive sorts of things that you desire for the people around you. And those intentions do play a major role. But beyond that, people connected to you actually begin to mirror your energy flow, which is very open and very free and very positive. And I'm hearing that's the most powerful value of being around you, is the way that others actually naturally, automatically, subconsciously learn to kind of flow energy in a more positive direction in their own energy body that then brings back to them more positive outcomes, manifestations, and results. But the thing is, many people don't take it all the way down those kinds of steps mentally, those pathways consciously. So they stop at just seeing you as some kind of vessel or some kind of vehicle for their own luck or their own alignment or their own success or whatever it is. Or in the worst case, in other cases, people completely disregard the positive effect that you have on them until they're disconnected from you. And very often people actually don't notice the positive effect that you have in their life until you decide to cut that energy cord, maybe for your own energetic cleansing or groundedness or protection. And of course, you always absolutely have the right to cut those cords when it's what's most beneficial and in alignment for you. But I'm getting very often, people don't realize the value of being connected to you until those cords are severed. And then through the negative results that they experience, because they're no longer having the benefit of being able to automatically mirror some of your energy flow and attract more positive things into their own life, because they're losing that, they actually will at times then project onto you and think that somehow you've messed up their life or you've cursed them in some way. Maybe even literally some of them think that you did some kind of spell work or something on them to make them experience these negative outcomes. But really, it's not a spell. It's the loss of access to a very high vibrational generator of energy being you. So I feel that it's so interesting. I'm sensing this intertwinement of the messages coming through, because we talked about you dealing with this heavy energy, you dealing with these dynamics of people who seem to at times take you for granted, even if they do somewhat perceive you as this good luck charm in their life. People do seem to either have this tendency to overutilize you as this bridge, or to completely disregard or discount the positive impact of being connected to you, to kind of disrespect that privilege of an experience. And in either case, those dynamics will leave you feeling very drained. I'm hearing it's only when someone truly recognizes the value of connecting with you and respects that value and gives you that credit in a sense, gives you that appreciation in return in a reciprocated way, but also desires to improve themselves and to shift themselves from the inside out, to actually do the inner work, to not just use you as this bridge, but to learn from you how to actually open their own energy body and channel energy in their own way and manifest in their own life. It's only when someone both respects and appreciates what you're bringing to that connection, while also having the desire to improve themselves personally or to grow and to evolve in a very kind of continuous sort of way, that then those connections are reciprocated energetically, meaning they bring balance into your life rather than draining you. And I'm getting that it's somewhat rare for you to connect with individuals who both recognize the value of what you bring into their life, but also desire to do the inner work necessary to not utilize you as that bridge. So it's a very delicate kind of balance here when it comes to you connecting and relating to others. So it may be that part of why both of these dynamics are coming up here is, for some of you listening, maybe you actually are feeling drained because you have certain open-ended kinds of connections It's funny, when I said the word open-ended, I immediately thought one-sided. You may have a lot of one-sided energetic connections in your life at the moment that are somehow coming to the forefront. And I'm actually getting the message as well that for a while, it may have been possible for you to actually keep these connections in your life and maybe just kind of set them on the back burner in some kind of way, or to just kind of, I'm hearing, to kind of go along to get along, to not really necessarily cut cords in these situations or set boundaries, but to just kind of leave them open. I'm getting that in the past, this worked really well for you, but now for some reason, everything is being called to the forefront. It's almost like this kind of judgment day energy. It's the energy of people being called to account spiritually for how they're choosing to interact with your energy, whether they're choosing to be very reciprocal with you or to be draining to you, whether they're really respecting you and the connection, or whether they are disrespecting it in some way or treating it in kind of a discounted sort of fashion. So I'm getting that, I'm hearing next phase of your spiritual evolution. So it seems like even though as this all is coming to the forefront, it's most likely contributing to that heaviness because it's just like it can't be ignored anymore. You are really cognizant of how particular people, connection, situations are actually feeding off of your energy or draining you in some way, or triggering or activating some of those lower vibrational energies within you, or whatever the case may be. I feel like all of these dynamics are coming to the surface in a really strong way, almost like they're coming to you either in dreams or in sudden realizations, or just coming up constantly in your thoughts, when before you were able to kind of just, again, keep these dynamics on the back burner while you continued to just live and enjoy your life without really necessarily needing to take any action there. But I'm just getting the sense that you're being called forward to really address the connections in your life that are not feeding you and the way that you're feeding them. And in some cases as well, you actually might be meeting new individuals who do reciprocate with you in a way that you are not accustomed to, in a way that maybe you didn't even fully believe was possible or accessible to you. And even if these encounters are brief, they seem to be serving a really powerful purpose, because they're actually showing you, showing you what you're missing. Not that you even knew that you were missing it, but what your soul has been craving on this deeper level. There seem to be people entering your life almost as messengers, telling you this is what it's possible for you to experience. And these people may show up in different ways. This could be sometimes even just seeing someone who has certain qualities that you've never even really considered before, but that you're realizing you really desire in, for example, a friend, a partner, a business associate, whatever this is for you. Of course, I feel all different kinds of connections are coming to the forefront here, coming to this kind of judgment day sort of energy. So these may actually be many different forms of connection for you. It could be friends, family members, romantic situations if you are currently in the dating world. So take that however it connects, but I'm getting these will be personal to you, any connections in your life that have been existing and feeding off of your energy and your frequency, kind of causing this leak or this drain without reciprocating with you in a way that is equally balanced. And getting back to the reason this is happening now, a major reason that this seems to be happening now is actually because it's necessary in some way for this next stage of your soul's evolution. And when I kind of channeled into why that is and what exactly this next stage is going to be holding for you, I am really strongly picking up the message. Well, really more so what's coming through are particular words and phrases. So the word light and lightness is coming through, but also channeled, focused energy. So what I get with these things together is that this next phase of your spiritual evolution is actually requiring lightness from you. It's requiring you to, I'm hearing, to cut the ties of heavy energy or set boundaries with those heavier energies, meaning those connections, people, things that are not able to be in a connection or relationship with you that's balanced and reciprocated, to set boundaries accordingly so that you can actually clear space within yourself and to become lighter. I'm seeing like a hot air balloon, cutting the ropes, tying it to the ground and being able to float up into higher levels. So what I see for you is, in essence, the importance of allowing yourself to float into these higher frequency states of being. And this seems to require you to cut ties or tethers of heavy energy in a sense. Now, of course, this could come in the form of setting boundaries with specific people or relationships, but equally, this could actually relate to other forms of heaviness that have been weighing on you or in your life in some way. And I'm getting that is why they're coming to the forefront so strongly. But also, I'm getting that you are needing to be able to channel in a more focused, powerful way, meaning to be able to direct your energy in a stronger way. Now, this may be because there is something specific that you are doing or creating in the world that requires this higher level of focus and precision from you. But I'm also getting that in a broader general sense, this is actually related to the fact that as you are rising into these higher frequency states of being that require this lightness to sustain, you also are dealing with a more powerful form of energy that therefore has to be focused with more precision. When we are dealing with less powerful forms of energy that are kind of more mediocre in nature, they don't always necessarily require from us a lot of precision because they're more slow moving. But what I'm getting is you are dealing with a kind of energy. You have access now to a higher energy that actually makes it possible for things to happen much more quickly for you because this energy does have a higher level of intensity, a higher rate of vibration. And I'm also getting this is something that you didn't have access to in the past. So this does seem directly related to this new phase of your spiritual journey that you're shifting into. But because you are dealing with this faster moving form of energy, yes, you can manifest things much more quickly. You can push out your energetic signal in a more powerful way, but also it requires from you more focus and precision. I keep seeing like a laser where all of this energy is being focused into a pinpoint and then has so much power in that like laser focused beam of energy. And that seems to speak to how you've been really called, or you're starting to feel yourself called to focus your energy, to direct your energy in a more specific or precise way, a more clear way, whatever that is for you personally. Okay, so I want to circle back to these people entering your life who, just as on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have individuals that you are really noticing in a stronger way, more strong than ever before, how those dynamics may actually be negatively impacting you in some way. On the other end of that, you are also receiving into your life individuals and people who actually seem to be revealing to you things that you may have subconsciously really been craving, really longing for in connection, in friendships, in community, things that you may not have even consciously considered because you may have not been aware of the possibility But I'm getting that you have people coming into your life, showing you what it's possible for you to experience in connection. And I'm hearing these people almost described as messengers, that they are meant to deliver this message to you from the divine realm that not only is something that you are longing for, something that you desire in a connection available to you on the planet at this time, but that it's almost as though it's available and it's actually coming into your life. It's manifesting into your life. So sometimes, even if these are brief encounters, I'm getting a message not to be discouraged if, for example, you meet someone, a friend, a stranger, have a beautiful conversation and interaction. I'm getting not to try to make it into more than it naturally is or seems to be, even if it seems to fulfill some kind of deeper craving within you, to really allow it to unfold naturally and not to be discouraged if those brief encounters actually seem to fizzle out, because they may have served their purpose, the purpose being simply to act as that messenger to reveal more to you of what you are desiring out of a connection, and to also send you a sign that those things you desire are coming. So if those brief encounters or situations don't seem to evolve naturally into more, I'm getting this message to simply just allow them to be as they are, but also to remain optimistic, because this is actually a powerful sign that you are in the process of manifesting connections that fulfill so much for you on a deep soul level. I just keep getting the word craving. Like on some deep level, you've been craving something in friendship, in community, in connection, something very tangible, something physical, something that shows up for you, that supports you, that fully honors you and sees you. And I just feel so strongly that you've been receiving signs and signals in the form of these people that may be acting as messengers from the divine, telling you in some sense that you are on the way to attracting in those long-term, meaningful, beautiful connections or situations. I'm also getting the word stand in. So some of these brief encounters or people in your life may actually be standing in, kind of filling in the gaps as something that's more long-term is being prepared for you. So stand-in energies is a term that I've never really used before on this channel. And it's very interesting that it's coming out here now, because what I'm getting is that, for example, you may be manifesting a really beautiful, supportive, uplifting community. And that might be being pre-paved, being kind of prepared for you on this higher level, but it's not yet fully lined up for you. However, your energy, your frequency has really shifted into the state of allowing that community in, even though it's not available yet to you in its long-term form. In this specific example, what you would begin to notice is, because you are emanating that frequency that is in alignment with that form of community, you would start to attract in people, situations, connections, things in your life, even just brief experiences that actually reflect to you, even in these seemingly small ways, that sense of community that you've been craving. And I'm getting such a strong message that whenever this happens, to honor those experiences, those people, those connections for what they are, even if they are brief, to honor them and to trust that this is a sign that everything you've been desiring is being lined up for you. Of course, you could also apply this to friendships, to a romantic relationship, honestly, even to specific opportunities that you might be manifesting. It can be such a powerful sign of manifestation when you are experiencing people, connections, things coming into your life that seem to be almost these glimpses into the full-blown manifestation that is coming. But what I'm picking up strongly is the mistake that a lot of people make in this process is trying to make the brief encounter or glimpse or situation that is meant to come and kind of fill in the gaps and also be this powerful sign of what is coming, to try and make that thing into the long-term thing, to kind of try to force it to be that long-term thing, to hold on to it so tightly. And when people do this, sometimes it can be easy to become discouraged, because when we hold on so tightly to something that's meant to be a sign and not our perfect, harmonious, long-term fulfillment of the manifestation, we can actually slow down the process, because we can become discouraged when that thing seems to kind of fade out of our life, or when it comes to a natural completion point or kind of serves its purpose. We can actually get to this place of trying to hold it in our life artificially, because we're afraid that what we really desire isn't going to be coming in a different form, in a longer term, more sustainable kind of way. So I don't know who that's for. I feel like that's a pretty specific message for someone. But I am getting in a very particular way that there is a certain person for some of you romantically, and this actually has kind of been weaving into these threads of energy as I've been channeling. I've almost been sensing this person. I keep seeing glasses for some reason, so maybe for some of you they wear glasses, but this also could just represent them seeing you clearly, just like you see clearly with glasses when you need the prescription. They are seeing you clearly, almost like they've put on these glasses, and symbolically they are now feeling as though their eyes have been opened to a different perspective of you that is sharper and clearer than it was in the past. So this could be someone past in your life, meaning someone that you knew in the past that is now feeling like their eyes are being opened and seeing you in a new light. But I'm getting that for many of you, this is a brand new person who just understands you really deeply and sees you really clearly. And this person seems to serve a very unique and interesting role in your life that is not going to be fully understood by society or by many people around you, because what I'm getting about this person is they actually seem to be serving the purpose of being some kind of a protector energy, someone who supports you, who helps you, who assists you, who protects you on some level. And this may be a connection that really seems to exist in this undefined space where you're not really entirely sure why you've entered each other's lives, but there's this very strong feeling of pull. It might even be a connection that kind of defies being fully defined in physical terms. So if this part of the reading is resonating for you, this is what we're going to be diving into in the extended version of the reading on Patreon. So if you do want to join me there, then the link to the Patreon reading is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. Otherwise, I will be closing this reading here. If you did connect with my energy, I would love for you to subscribe, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at @magnetizeyourself, where I post more energy updates, inspiration, and information. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in Monday's reading.